So having established all of this, you can really see why it's so crucial to also dig up and let go everything that's in your subconscious mind in order to make this permanent. Okay, there is no other way. Everything that's in the back of your subconscious, all of this shit down here, everything that's in Pandora's box, all of these unacceptable things, you need to let go of them. Okay, and once again, when I say letting go here, this does not mean fixing any of these things. You know, it's like, oh, it's unacceptable, I must fix it, because you're still labeling it as unacceptable. It does not mean changing any of these things or getting rid of any of these things or trying to make sense of any of these things. Okay, letting go is embracing, it's accepting. The reason all of these things are still here and all these things are still running you is because you're resisting them. Okay, whatever you resist persists. By you trying to disown them, deny them, get rid of them, that's what keeps them alive. That is why they remain stuck. Okay, you need to re-own them, accept them. That is how you let go of them. And again, this is not something that we're used to doing. Okay, what we're used to doing is coping with this, okay, which we've discussed in detail, and compensating for this. Okay, we either try to run away from it, distract ourselves, and to compensate, we try to inflate our ego. This part here that's acceptable, we think that maybe if we amplify it, if we work on this, we'll compensate for all this shit. You know, it's all this shit's wrong about me, but hey, if I add, you know, some more success, some more acceptable aspects and traits, if I add some cool experiences, some money, some cool relationships, I'll inflate my ego, and eventually it'll reach a point where this stuff doesn't matter, it's gone. You know, it compensates for all that shit, okay? And this does not work. No matter how much you compensate, guess what? You're still compensating. You don't get to the cause. This is endless, it's compulsive, okay? Trying to block out all of these unacceptable things does not work, because guess what? They're still there. No matter how big your ego gets, no matter how much you accumulate, it's still there, okay? And it's in reaction to this, which of course keeps it alive and reinforces it. This is not about working on your ego, it's about dissolving your ego, okay? When you re-own this, instead of trying to add on to the ego, guess what? This is all gone, and now you become whole again, okay? And this is how you achieve true permanent transformation. A true abundance, if you will, can only be realized when you remove this split, this separation from unacceptable to acceptable. Once you get rid and dissolve the ego, that is how you reach true abundance, and that is how you also achieve core confidence. It's when you let go of your attachment to being a certain way, okay, your attachment to being this ego, you let go of that, you re-own who you are, full self-acceptance, and a click happens, there's a click that takes place, and you become what is called being comfortable in your own skin. Okay, there's no longer this shit that you're running away from, that you're trying to compensate for, that you're trying to hide. You're like, maybe if my ego is big enough, no one will see through and see that part of me. You own who you are, and guess what? That click happens. Now you're confident. Now you feel at ease in your own skin. You feel deserving. Why? Just because. Okay, for no reason. Just because. You know, we all have that. It's like, do you feel deserving right now? You're like, no. And you may have a few justifications, you know. Guys, in terms of success with women. Like, do you feel like you deserve a beautiful, attractive girl? And they're like, no, because of this. But if I give them the counter arguments, I'm like, okay, we'll realize this and this. Like if they're like, my money, my looks, I'm like, that does not matter. Deep down inside, underneath it all, they still don't feel deserving just because. For no logical reason at all. It's just because. Because it's always been like that. Because this has always been there due to the way we're conditioned from the moment we are born. And when you re-own it, guess what? You become deserving. Why? Just because. Why would you not be deserving? Why would your default not be deserving? Your default is automatically deserving. Okay, if a guy goes up to a girl, or just any human being with any opportunities, it's like, I'm not going to get that opportunity unless I will get rejected by the girl unless. Why are you assuming that you will get rejected? Unless. Why is it, hey, of course I'm going to get it? Okay, that's how you get that core confidence. And it's not based on anything. It doesn't depend on anything. It's not, well, I only feel confident in this little scenario or my ego is in this certain way. No matter what, you know who you are you, you accept you. And you'll just be fucking unstoppable. And by accepting all of these unacceptable things, it's like, oh, this is unacceptable. There's this traumatic thing that happened to me. Oh, must get rid of it. When I say you have to accept this does not mean that you have to approve of it. Okay, if you went through something extremely traumatic, that doesn't mean you need to view it as good, okay, at all. Things like war, abuse, rape, or any just horrible event should never be approved of or viewed as good, okay? Of course not. And if you have, like, let's just say, unacceptable characteristics like, anger, that doesn't mean you have to act on that anger either. Or bad thoughts, that doesn't mean you have to act on those thoughts either, okay? By accepting here, what I mean is validating this. That doesn't mean act on it. That doesn't mean view it as good, but it does mean validate that it's there. That's how you let go of it. You just acknowledge that it's there. You stop resisting it, okay? Validate what happened. If something horrible happened to you, it's not about viewing it as good. It's acknowledging this horrible thing happened to me. That is validating. These unacceptable traits, if you have a bad thought or you're jealous, you're like, oh, that's unacceptable. It means acknowledge that, hey, you get jealous, you get angry, you get sad. All of that is there. Stop suppressing it. Stop trying to keep it out of sight. It won't go away. It doesn't work that way, okay? And what this means is that you need to go back and validate all of those, for example, traumatic events. You need to go back and acknowledge all of those things you're just trying to keep repressed in your subconscious. Validate all of those unacceptable aspects of yourself, personality traits, emotions, and let go of your resistance to them. Okay, you need to be with them, experience them fully so that you can let go of them. And what you'll notice is that when, let's just say you experience something traumatic here, and you go back and allow yourself to experience what you didn't experience then, you're not gonna lose the memory, okay? It's still gonna be there. You can still view it as bad, okay? That doesn't mean, again, view it as good, but that momentum, that charge behind it will be gone, okay? It won't run you. It'll simply be information. That's it. It's like, oh, that happened to me, but it no longer has that control over you, okay? And again, that's how you let go. It's being with yourself unconditionally instead of rejecting yourself and abandoning yourself. That is how you re-own what was previously disowned. And this is extremely terrifying. Okay, as a little side note, this is not something that is fun to do. Going back to different traumatic experiences and living them, it's not fun. I mean, there's a reason they are down there. Okay, a lot of these things, guess what? There's a reason they're down there. It's not a pleasant process, but you got to go through that little dip of things getting a little bit worse for them to get better, okay? Resisting them is what causes really all of that suffering. You need to go back and let all those sensations run their course and eventually disappear, okay? This is the process instead of suppressing, repressing, and then spending a life escaping, okay, with the occasional expressing of all of that. And this is pretty key to understand. That's the way most people work. You suppress all this shit or repress it. You just stuff it down. Then this runs you, and you spend your entire life running away from it and trying to compensate. That's your life. And then every once in a while, this bubbles up so much that it explodes. Okay, that's when you express. You suppress, repress, you then spend your life escaping or compensating, and every once in a while, it'll just pop, and you have this little burst where you express it. If something just made you like you got really upset over something for no reason, that's you expressing something. It's something that triggers all of this. It just bubbles up and it pops. And we think that when we express it, like you throw a tantrum, that you let go of it. But no. Why? Because you're still acting from it. The only way to let go of it is to accept it. Okay? The only way to let go of it is to go through all of this shit. It's to face it. And that's why it's so fucking terrifying. You know? Remember this, the only way out is through. There's no way around it. I mean, you've tried every single way around it. It hasn't worked. Suppressing and repressing things does not equal transformation. Okay, that's not how you go about it. It's not about hiding different parts and just keeping them there. You know, if there's something you don't like about yourself, it's not about, let's just get rid of that, and now I've transformed. Fuck no, okay? And escaping and compensating for those things does not equal transformation either, okay? Which is also, unfortunately, what a lot of traditional self-help promotes. Okay, it's basically ignore the cause, ignore all of this, and here are a million techniques to work on your ego. That's traditional personal development. Let's keep tweaking and amplifying the ego. There are a million different tools here. Go ahead, and even if it doesn't fully work, guess what? It's a lot better than having to face all of these unacceptable things. I mean, what better way to distract yourself? Here, personal development, anything to just avoid pain, avoid anything that's unacceptable. And we're conditioned this way. Our whole society is built around avoiding pain, which is just more escapism. Okay, fuck avoiding pain. Start fucking facing pain head on. That's the process. You must face this. You must end this perpetual movement, running away from something and running towards something else. You need to turn in the direction of your aversion. Okay, and you need to make this decision now. Just decide, I'm done escaping this. I'm done letting this run me. I'm going to face the darkest aspects of my subconscious. I'm just going to go head on into this. The only way out is through.